to Cosmoholics Anonymous. I am your favorite baby mama, Bo Vintage, and today's video is the second part to my Q&A. There's so many questions to be answered still. There's probably going to be at least 2 more parts to this Q&A. So let's begin. Recall a time where a stranger made an impact on your life, good or bad. I actually favorited this question because I thought it was a really good question. So as you guys know, I did live in a shelter for a period of time, and that is where I met a lot of different people from a lot of different walks of life. And one of the people that I feel like I'm getting emotional, oh god, one of the people that I met in the shelter, and she's actually the reason I moved to Ottawa. She made such an impact on my life. She was the only other, well, one of the only other working people that were living in the shelter at the time, and she was really hard worker, and she still is a really hard worker. She really kind of just had my back in the shelter, and I had hers, and we both were able to make it out of the shelter. And so if it weren't for meeting her, I would never even have thought to move to Ottawa. And ever since I moved to Ottawa, my life has just been so freaking wonderful and like just amazing. And so she definitely impacted my life. We still keep contact. Like, she's one of my best friends, and I wouldn't trade her for anything in the world. I know she watches my videos, so hey girl. She had a definite positive impact on my life, and I will love her forever. After finding out you were pregnant, how did it affect you and Shooter's relationship? Sometimes it's difficult for men to deal with all the changes and crazy emotions we go through while pregnant, from emotionally to even sexually. In you guys' situation, did it bring you closer, kind of push you guys away? Honestly, everybody was kind of scared for me to get pregnant because I'm already all over the place. But after we watched Rob and China's show and we seen how crazy China was, we thought that I might be like that because I don't have a short fuse, but it's kind of short, and so I'm easily irritated. And so I thought that would be an issue, but honestly, when you're best friends with your partner, that makes things a whole lot easier. If you didn't plan your child, I can understand why it would come and maybe cause some kind of issue or kind of make the relationship rocky. But because me and Shooter are just super close, it hasn't really affected our relationship in any way. Like, it's been the same. The only thing is that when I'm emotional, and I've never really spazzed on him for anything since I've been pregnant, but like anytime I've been emotional in the pregnancy, it's been over little trivial things. Like when I was first pregnant and I was having my food aversions, oh my gosh, I would cry every single day over dinner, and he just didn't know what to do. And so he was trying to console me, and he didn't know how to. And then like with the whole nail appointment situation, like I cry for little weird things like that. I haven't really been angry. I haven't been affected that way, but our relationship's the same. It hasn't really changed, so whatever. Can you invite me to your wedding? If you're in Ottawa, you can come. Do you think Shooter looks like Post Malone? Because if you don't, how? For the 100th time, if you're saying Shooter looks like Post Malone, it's mother insulting, and I won't take it. We do not take that. Okay, we do not accept that. Okay, we're reclaiming our time, and we're reclaiming Shooter's face. He doesn't look like anybody but himself. Like, you guys say, you guys are just like, it's annoying. It's like when people try to tell me I look like every celebrity under the sun. They told me I look like Nicki Minaj. I've been told I look like Black China, Toya, Reginae, Raven Simone, every black person in the book. Girl, if you don't tell me I look like Julia Roberts, I'm just gonna assume you're racist. Like, tell me I look like somebody else. Like, realistically. Because all black people don't look the same, and all people don't look the same, period. Except for like Katy Perry and Zooey Deschanel and like those bitches with the blue eyes, and the girl that sings alongside of the guy that sings Somebody That I Used to Know. Unless it's them, because they all look the same, then don't tell me I look like anybody, and don't say anybody looks like me, because I look like me. And it's just really annoying. And Shooter doesn't look like Post Malone. Have you guys seen Post Malone? Post Malone looks like he doesn't freaking bathe his skin. Like, don't insult my man. Like, you guys are rude. And then on top of that, it's like you guys say he looks like one of the guys from what's that YouTube channel? They eat a lot of bacon. I can't remember that YouTube channel. You guys say he looks like him. You guys say like he looks like some dude from the show Shameless. You guys say that he looks like Rob Kardashian and Post Malone. Like stop. Like stop. He looks like Shooter. End of story. Like it's annoying. Anyway, how do you feel about egg donation? Would you ever do it? I've actually considered being a surrogate like way before I was even way before I was pregnant. I considered being a surrogate, but the thing is, in the States, you get a lot of money. You can make a lot of money being a surrogate. In Canada, if you offer to be a surrogate, it's for free, which is BS. So I would never opt to be a surrogate in Canada. But I might still be a surrogate for somebody one day. After I have my 4 kids, I might give somebody else another baby. Like, I feel like if you can, then you should, because you're helping somebody. But I wouldn't necessarily donate my personal eggs, because that means that I would have another child out there and I'm with the shits. Like, no, if I'm gonna have a baby, it needs to be mine. If you could only use one makeup brand, what would it be? That one's so obvious. MAC. That one's so obvious. Like, come on now, that's not even a question. Would you put your baby girl in dance lessons? Dance lessons is definitely something I want to do for my children. If she doesn't want to do dance or gymnastics or something like that. Well, actually, I don't want to put her in anything that's going to start her growth. So I don't want to really put her in gymnastics, because a lot of the gymnasts look weird as hell as they get older, and I don't like it. No shade. And so I don't want to put her in gymnastics, but I would put her in dance. And if she doesn't like dance, maybe she'll like soccer or football or something. Like, I don't care if she, as long as she's doing some kind of activity, you know? What are Shooter's mom's thoughts on the baby's gender? Well, actually, originally she always tried to say that I was gonna have a boy, and I would get upset, of course. Well, even before I found out I was pregnant, she was always saying we're gonna have a boy. And then when I got pregnant, she said it's gonna be a boy. And then now that she knows it's a girl and she knows the baby's name, she's all super excited. And like, Shooter's mom is like super like into the pregnancy. Like, she's over the moon, and she actually gets upset if I do a pregnancy update but don't update her. Like, she just wants to be in the loop for everything, but like, it's just easier for me to do a video and everybody knows at the same time. So Shooter's been getting cussed out a lot because I haven't been being forthcoming, I guess, with my pregnancy information, ultrasound photos. She's like, I don't want to see it in a video, I want to see it personally, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, okay. So she's really excited. She would have been excited either way. It's her first grandchild, so she doesn't really care what I have. She's just excited she's getting a grandbaby. What eyelash glue do you use, and how did you save up to move into a home? How did you grow trust in your relationship? That is a lot of different questions, and they're also random. Okay, eyelash glue, I use Duo eyelash adhesive, the dark one. In terms of saving up to move into a home, my house is not purchased. I still do rent, but you still have to save sometimes to get a rental property, because you have to pay first and last. So that one's kind of hard. Like, I didn't really have to save. I hate saying that. I didn't really have to save, because our household has always been 2 incomes, and on top of that, I make so much money on YouTube that I didn't really have to save to move from my old apartment to my new apartment or house. So the only thing is, I don't really know how to answer that question. I feel shitty not being able to answer that. That's weird. My best advice to you for that would be to just cut out all of the extra spending. Don't buy things that are not necessary for survival. So if you don't go out to eat, do groceries. Don't buy makeup if you're into makeup. Don't buy any makeup products that are releasing. It sucks when you have to like not spend. Don't buy clothes. Just live your life and keep all that extra money and just save it, and then go forward, and you'll be able to, if you're gonna rent, then you'd be able to put your first and last down. But if not, and you actually are trying to buy a house, you only really need to save 10%. I think 10% or 15. No, 15 is kind of high. I think you either need to say 5 or 10% to put down on a house, and then the bank covers the rest for a time. So it's the same thing. Just cut out the extra spending and you'll eventually have enough. How did you grow trust in your relationship? I don't know. I am a firm believer in being friends first. I'm a firm believer in marrying your best friend. And so if you can build a friendship with the person that you are in a relationship with, or that you are trying to be in a relationship with, if you can have a friendship first, the trust will be a lot easier. Whereas if you just see somebody you're interested in, like physically attracted to, and then you guys are both physically attracted to somebody and you guys start to try to build a relationship right off bat without that friendship connection first, then it's like it'll be a lot harder. But other than that, you just have to let go of all your past. If you've been hurt in the past, you just have to let all of that go and move forward in your relationship, because you can't bring that baggage into your new relationship. The other thing that helps with building trust is also living with the person. I mean, it's hard to maneuver, it's hard to be a liar, a cheater, or whatever else when you actually live with somebody, because then you have to work extra hard to cover your tracks. Whereas if you don't live with the person that you are in a relationship with, your trust is harder to build. How are you going to balance YouTube and mom life? I'm gonna incorporate mom life into my YouTube as much as I can, and also when the baby's sleeping. Duh, isn't that what they all do? I don't freaking know. Do you ever do other people's makeup, like on the side, or have you thought about going into that? Before, well, in the beginning stages of my YouTube, I was trying to, I guess, go into freelance MUA, and I did start, but it's not for me. I love doing my own makeup and I love teaching via video, but I don't enjoy doing other people's makeup. The thing is, I've dealt with so many different kinds of people, and I've dealt with so many different skins, and the skin thing really bothers me. Like, it's I don't know how to say it, but I've done people's makeup and their skin was just disgusting. And I don't mean like dry or something like that. Like their skin was just, it was just gross. And to put makeup on it and to use my kit to put makeup on it, or to put makeup on their skin, I just felt like I had to burn my brushes after, and I was like, okay, this is clearly not for me, because if I'm gonna be a makeup artist, I have to be willing to work with every skin type, every blemish, like, you know what I mean? I can't be like cringing at people's skin while I'm doing their makeup. So I realized it wasn't for me real quick. And I also realized that makeup does not apply, like makeup doesn't apply the same way on anybody's skin, like black, white. When I used to work at Shoppers Drug Mart and I was in the beauty boutique, the makeup did not, and I was doing white people's makeup, I was like, why is it doing this? Like, I was so confused, and I was like, no, I can't do this. So as a Jamaican Canadian, how do you feel about Drake's use of the lingo / patois, or artists in general who are making music with those vibes but may not be from the islands? I'm not a Jamaican Canadian. If I was in America, I would actually be so upset at people calling me African American, because I'm just black. Like, I'm not African American, I'm not African Canadian, I'm not Jamaican Canadian. My parents are Jamaican Canadian because they are originally from Jamaica and they came to Canada and they have their citizenship. So to me, that would be a Jamaican Canadian, but nobody says that stuff here. We don't talk like that here. We just say that person is black, that person is white, that person is Chinese. That's how we speak here. We don't say Asian American, like that's just, or Asian Canadian. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. It's dumb. I actually don't like that term, but I don't care that Drake uses that lingo, because that is a part of the Toronto culture. That is a part of Toronto. If you're from Toronto, you know that. And I mean, he doesn't have any Jamaican background at all. Drake's dad is not Jamaican. His mom is not Jamaican. He doesn't have any Jamaican roots, but the people around him are Jamaican. And that's the thing about Toronto. We're so multicultural and diverse, and there's such a big Jamaican influence on Toronto. And that's because it's full of immigrants. And so because of that, it doesn't bother us. Like, I don't know if it bothers other people. I don't know if it bothers Jamaicans, but that's just how it is in Toronto. And I think people need to just love the fact that we embrace the Jamaican roots, but like most of us are actually Jamaican that are in or come from a Jamaican background that live in Toronto, and that's why we speak that way. Yes, Mom? Because Jacob doesn't knock.
I just wanted to measure your belly.
And as far as other people from the island, other people not from the islands taking those sounds and that vibe, I don't really mind it either. They've been doing it since the beginning of time. Like, everything is taken from us, not Jamaicans, but black people in general. They stole rock and roll from us. They stole hip hop, child. They stole R&B, soul music. They stole blues. They stole everything from us. And at this point, it's not an insult. At this point, it's just like magic. Magic uses that reggae influence, that vibe in their music, and everybody really does, so it's not a big deal to me. I don't worry about those little things. Like, we can't be upset about everything. You live in Toronto. Would you ever come to Brampton or Mississauga? Girl, you better catch up to the times, because I don't live in Toronto. What's your go-to meal when you don't feel like cooking? If this is like a outside food reference, then I would say more recently I've been loving Popeyes, but I only eat the spicy wings and the mashed potatoes and the fries. When I don't really feel like cooking, well, you know what, to be honest, I don't do a lot of cooking anyway. Shooter does all the cooking, so when he doesn't feel like cooking and he wants to like order food in, he always wants to get Thai food. Would you enjoy having twins? And if you would you like two of the same gender, identical or fraternal, or boy and girl? I would definitely enjoy having twins. When I went for my first ultrasound, I was actually hoping it would be twins in there, but I knew the likelihood wasn't really that high. And also, I would love a boy-girl twin set, but it doesn't really matter. Like, twins are such a blessing. I would be happy with girl and girl, boy and girl. And I think I prefer fraternal twins just because it would be easier to tell them apart. But when you're the parent, you're supposed to automatically know. And I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they put labels on everything until the kids are old enough to have their own distinct features. But I think fraternal twins are cool. Why did Shooter get shot? Because there was a gun pointed at him. What kind of question is that? Have any paranormal things been happening since the last video you made about it? Paranormal things, no, but you know what? Earlier in my pregnancy, I was experiencing sleep paralysis, which, as you know, is a very scary thing for me, and I don't enjoy it. It was sleep paralysis paired with nightmares, and so what I did to combat it was light the sage, honey. I lit the sage up. Shooter actually lit the sage, and he walked around the house and prayed for the house and went in the bedroom and prayed for the bedroom, and my dream stopped completely. Can you do baby thing hauls? I actually just ordered a bunch of stuff from this little website that I found, and I'm glad they accepted PayPal, because if my stuff doesn't come, then I can just get my money back. But I'm actually really excited for the stuff to come, and I'm definitely going to be doing hauls for baby stuff. Did you receive any negative comments from family members or friends when you told them you were pregnant? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nobody would ever. Everybody's super happy for me. And if they're not, they're real good at pretending. Have you seen a change in your skin or hair since you've been pregnant? Blessings to you and your family, and I love you so much. Love you too. Changes in my skin, definitely. My skin is usually really clear. I definitely keep getting these little breakouts. I might do a video on pregnancy acne, just to show how I've been treating mine, because it's here one day, it's gone the next, except for this guy down here. My hair, not really. It's a little dry. It is. And I don't know what this whole lie is about your hair grows a lot when you're pregnant, because mine did not do too much growing. What is one thing about motherhood you're not looking forward to? Shitty diapers. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to clean diapers. I can't stand poopy diapers. I remember when I used to babysit Malik when he was like an actual baby, and he used to poop, and I would have to clean his bum, and I'd just be like, ah. But like, I'm ready. This question I already answered in the last video, but I'm gonna answer it again because there's been a change of plans. Who all are you having at the birth, or will it just be you and Shooters in town? So I actually said that I would like to have my mother and Shooter in the room with me, but my mom is saying that she is not stepping foot in the room for anybody's childbirth, and she's actually not been at anybody's births, any of her past grandchildren's births, because they actually weren't here. They were in the States. My sister that's having her baby like tomorrow, like literally in a couple days, she's having him soon. Like he's ready to come out. He's already turned full in position, pressing his head against her and trying to he's trying to escape. Okay, my mom said she's not gonna go in the room. She doesn't want to see any of her girls in pain, and so she's actually not been to anybody's birth thus far. And I told her she doesn't have a choice with me. She has to come in the room with me, and she's refusing. And so I might just have Shooter in the room. I know his mom really wants to come in the room, but I can only take her in small doses, and I don't know that I can have her in the room with me because it depends on how I'm feeling that day. So it might just be Shooter. Hell, Shooter might piss me off too, and I won't want him in there either. I might just do it by my damn self. So I don't freaking know. Will the baby's nickname be Bullet or Baby Bow? Neither. The baby has her own identity. Actually, she already has 2 nicknames. Whenever I'm talking to her with Paris, I always call her Poppy, and that's because when I was that's because in the very early stages of my pregnancy, I have this app that tells me how big the baby is. The first time I looked at it, she was the size of a poppy seed, and so we just started calling her Poppy. And then the nickname that me and Shooter call her when we talk about her is based on her actual name, so I'm not going to tell you guys what that one is. What was your biggest fear about being pregnant? Honestly, my biggest fear about being pregnant was miscarrying within the first 3 months, but nobody in my family's really miscarried before. Well, not that I know of, at least. My mom's never had a miscarriage before. It should never have really been a fear of mine, but it was, just because I was so excited to be pregnant and like I didn't want to be devastated. What's the most important thing you want to teach your daughter? I think one of the most important things I want to teach her is that she's enough. I want her to always know that she's enough. Like, you're enough, you know? I don't know if you guys understand that, but she will. Okay, I keep getting questions about my baby shower and baby registries. I do have baby registries. This one says, have you made any baby registries? I have 3 baby registries. I'm gonna do a whole video about the virtual baby shower so that everybody can just go watch that video and like know that's the video. And I'll do that video this week because honestly I'm halfway through my pregnancy already, so time's wasting. And so I do have 3 baby registries. I'll link my shipping address down in the description box below, and I will put the registries down there as well. Do not feel obligated to send me anything, please and thank you. Like, if you guys want to send, you send. If you don't, it's not a big deal. Oh, and also don't feel like you have to get something off the registry. Like, not necessary. If you see something at the damn dollar store and it's like, oh my god, that's so cute, then you get it and you send it, and we love you. How do Canadians really feel about Drake? I could never speak for Canadians. I can speak for myself. I feel like I like Drake's music, and that's kind of where it ends for me. Sometimes I like his captions on his photos because I feel like he's just so waste. Like, I don't even know how to explain that. Like, I just feel like Drake is like, he's just so fake to me. Like, I don't feel like he's a real guy. You know what I mean? I feel like he definitely puts on a facade. I feel like he tries to go on like he's something that he's not. He makes good music, and that's just, it is what it is. Especially coming from Toronto, I know that the people around him are a certain way, but he's not the people around him. Like, he's really not. And you know how we talk about you are who your friends are? Drake wishes he was who his friends are, basically, because they're like some rough and tough whereas he's not. Like, he's just not. And I think him being around them, he's kind of tried to make himself think that he is that, but it is what it is, you know. live and let live, you know. I just let Drake do his thing, and I don't really have an opinion about him because I don't know him personally, so I shouldn't really be saying things about him. But like, just the way I see him move and operate, I feel like, and then when I hear him talk too, I just feel like he's doing a little much. But in terms of his music, I will always support it and whatever. I just got a weird like desire for like hot dogs, like spider leg hot dogs. I don't know if you guys know what spider legs are, but oh my god. What do you like most about your supporters? I think my favorite thing about you guys is that you guys keep it a buck just like I keep it a buck, and most of you are not super sensitive like some of the noobs are. And so like my OG supporters are like, they get me, they know who I am, and they operate just like I do. Whereas new people might come and they might see a video where I'm all happy, jolly, and nice, but then when I flip the script and I'm acting a certain way on camera, they don't understand, and they're like, what the f, she's so rude, blah 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 blah. And so they don't get it, and like I'm just unapologetic about it, and I can't help you. And I love that a lot of my supporters have that same mentality and same attitude I have, and that you guys aren't judgmental, and you guys just go with the flow like I go with the flow. And so I think that's one of my favorite things about you guys. You guys are just cool, like you guys are chill, and I don't have to worry about anything when it comes to my real supporters. Like I really don't have to worry about anything. You guys know what it is, you guys know what I mean when I say certain things, and you guys don't take offense to certain things that I say, and you guys just let me be me, and that is why I love you guys. How long will you wait to have your second baby after your princess arrives? Honestly, I'm 25, and a lot of people forget that, and women are on a clock, okay? Plus, I've always wanted to be not a young mom, not like a teen mom, but I've always wanted to start having children at a decent age so that I can push out as many. Like if I only wanted to have one kid, I could wait, but because I want to have 4, I would say that within a year I will probably be on baby number 2, once my child is born, of course. So a year from the date my child is born, we would be working on baby number 2. 2 of my sisters are 10 months apart, and my mom was saying to me the other day, that's one of her regrets. She wishes that it wasn't like that, because she doesn't feel like she doesn't feel like the sister that's older got enough of her for that time, even though she ended up just treating them like twins. Like they had their entire life like twins. I'm considering just chilling, you know. I wouldn't want to have them back to back like that, like 10 months apart, but I would consider between 6 to a year before working on baby number 2. 6 months to a year before working on baby number 2. 6 months is really, really soon, so probably not. Like I want to be able to give baby girl everything she needs from me, and then give her a brother or sister. It all just depends, really. I don't know. Like she was planned. The second baby will probably be planned too. I don't want to really have kids that are not planned, but sometimes that's just what happens when you're mating. So it is what it is. How do you deal with haters/bullies? I clap back. I do, and I'm not ashamed to. I don't really have too many bullies. I don't think people bully me. I don't think I can be bullied. Like you can only be bullied if you allow it, and I don't allow any type of slander when it comes to myself, when it comes to my household. Like I don't allow it, and so my haters are few and far in between. Like they're whatever. Like anytime somebody actually comes for me, the thing is, okay, let's just focus on like YouTube comments, for example. The thing is with me, because I communicate with you guys on a regular basis, and I love reading my comments on YouTube just because I like the feedback. I like the jokes that are in my comments because you guys are so funny. Because I read my comments a lot, I always end up seeing the negative ones, and it's hard not to say something back to those people just because At the end of the day, it's my channel, and if you say something to me, I have every right to respond. And it's not like I only respond to negative comments. I also respond to positive comments. And so I just say what I have to say to those people, and then they always try to come back and like say that they pressed a nerve and blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, don't ever flatter yourself, because guess what? I reply to everybody. I reply to all my fans, and that means you too, because if you're on my channel, you're a fan. That's just, it is what it is. Negative comment, positive comment, you a fan bitch. When I reply to them, I just assume that they're super happy that they're getting a reply, which they are. Like, they always are super duper happy that I said something back to them. So I don't know, I feel like my haters are my motivators, and like, I do this for y'all. What advice would you give to teens who are overweight and feel unhappy about it? I don't know. I think a lot of people think I'm bigger than I actually am. I've always struggled with my body image, and I have body dysmorphia, and so, or I've suffered with body dysmorphia, and so this question is, I don't know what, I honestly don't know what to say. I guess my advice would be to try to eat healthier and be more active, and don't complain about your weight if you're not doing anything about it. If you feel as though you've been trying and you're not seeing any results, then you should probably consult somebody about that, and also try to get into certain habits, or try to get like a personal trainer or somebody to work out with or something like that, so that you're not in it alone, even if the person that you're working out with isn't large as well. Just somebody to keep you motivated and to keep you going and help you stay on track when it comes to diet and exercise. What kind of dad do you think Shooter will be? I think Shooter will be a good mix of all the dad types. I feel like he will definitely be really chill. I know he's gonna spoil the child. I know that he's a sucker when it comes to the kids. Like, he gives them anything they want. Anytime he's been around my other family members' children, he's always doing what he's not supposed to do. Like, I have I have a cousin, and her daughter is like, when you give her a little bit of sugar, she's just bouncing off the walls. And so I had cinnamon buns, and she was not supposed to have any of the cinnamon buns, because then it was pretty late, and she just wasn't supposed to have any, because she would just be acting crazy. I leave for 1 second, and like, I don't know why, I think I went into her room or something. I come back out and I see Shooter's arm extended like this with the damn cinnamon bun, because she kept asking for it, and like, he figured if I'm not there, he can just give it to her. And I know he's gonna be the same with my kids, and I just can't even deal. He just gives them anything they want. Like, when he went to the store with Malik, he went to Walmart. I don't even think they were in the toy section, but Malik ended up coming home with action figures for what? Like, he just gives the kids anything they want. He's not going to be the strict parent when the kid is a little kid. I think when the kid gets older, he will be more strict. But I know for a fact that when the kid is between the ages of like 0 and 10, he's going to be the super chill parent, and the kid's going to hate my guts. Nike or Adidas? You know what's funny? I prefer Adidas clothing, but I like Nike shoe brands. So I like Nike, I like Jordan, but I don't have, but I have Yeezys. My Yeezys are my only Adidas. Are you excited for Fenty Beauty, and will you be purchasing any? You already know I will. I want to buy everything. I probably will buy everything. When will you have your online baby shower? I will have my online baby shower in November. And that will either, I don't know exactly what date, but it'll be in November. When you were younger, what did you want to be? I originally wanted to be an orthodontist, and then once I realized that I couldn't really get jiggy with biology, I totally changed my mind. I wanted to be an English teacher. And then after that, I decided that I wanted to do fashion. And then once I realized that college life was just not me, I was lost in the sauce. If you were to be any race, what would you be? Black. Like, what? Why would I ever want to be anything but black? And what is my favorite foundation? If we're talking about high-end, low-end, if we're talking about high-end foundation, it would probably be my MAC foundation. And we're talking about low-end foundation, the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. What's your go-to thing when you're sad or upset and want to make yourself feel better? Ben & Jerry's half-baked ice cream. I love ice cream. And also watching some of my favorite movies. And also listening to Amy Winehouse. Like, it's a lot of different remedies. Ex-London still friends? If not, what happened? Who the hell is London? I had a friend named London. Who was ex-London? I hope she does not mean Paris, because I can't even deal. Oh my gosh. London. I'm dead. What is the baby's room theme? Are you going to do a nursery tour? I don't know what theme I want to go with yet for the nursery. I'm thinking I want to do some sort of gray or like monotone walls. I didn't want to do like pink or something obvious like that. I didn't want to do anything too colorful. I wanted to do muted tones and then accent with the colors, so with bright tones. So I really have no idea, and time's a wasting. Like I said, like, it's crunch time. Are you trying to grow your channel, or are you happy where you are? Do you think that the number of subscribers someone has changes behavior? I don't know. I'm actually really content with my subscriber count. Like, I never really say in my videos, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, blah blah blah, because I don't know why. I don't know why I don't do that. I just don't care to, I guess. I mean, if people want to subscribe, they will, and if they don't, then they don't. Like, you don't really have to say to subscribe. If you have to say subscribe or tell people to subscribe, then it's like, you know, it's kind of pointless. Your view count is really more important than your subscriber count, but at the same time, I don't care about that either. So I shouldn't say I don't care about that, just because I hate that I have so many subscribers, but my view count doesn't reflect it. But when I think about the type of content that I put out, it actually makes sense. Because initially my channel was taking long to grow when I was just doing makeup videos, and so it's like that chunk of people, maybe around 10K, that chunk of people that were just subscribed for my makeup videos, those are the same 10K people that still watch my makeup videos. And then when it comes to story times, the view count's always higher than that, because a lot of people just subscribed for the story times. And it's irritating only because I feel like I put a lot of work into my videos, and I don't feel like my channel gets as much love as it deserves when it comes from the people that are already subscribed. But in terms of more people subscribing, I don't really care for them to subscribe, because my view count is never gonna match my subscriber count, which is realistically the most annoying thing. But nobody's view count matches their subscriber count, so it's whatever. I definitely think that some people are affected by that change in subscriber count. I definitely feel like some people feel like they're like like they're popping, like they're super popping when their subscriber count grows, and their behavior does change, and we see it all the time, so it's like whatever. But like mine hasn't. It is what it is. Like, I don't think I'm better than people. I don't try to like stun on you guys and like show you guys that I have this and that. I don't post what I purchase, because I would prefer to keep the image that I'm a regular ass bitch than like make you guys think that I'm something that I'm not. Even if I do have nice things, like, I'm not really gonna broadcast them and showcase them, just because there's other people that are not strangers that are watching me that will feel like, I don't know, what's the word, that will feel that feel like they can start watching my pockets, and I don't like that. So I just try to keep it as humble as possible. How does it feel to be the baddest MILF out there? Am I the baddest MILF though? Am I really? Oh my gosh. Do you plan to use organic products on your baby? Are you worried about the chemicals in regular baby products like Johnson & Johnson? What kind of parent do you want to be when she gets... What kind of parent... Okay, let me answer the first two questions first. I'm going to try to go as organic as possible, I guess. I don't really know... this is my first child, and I have to do research before I purchase anything, I guess, which I don't want any rashes or anything on my kids. So yeah, I'll probably have to look into what is best for baby before she gets here. In terms of what kind of parent I want to be when my child gets older, I want to be the parent that my kid can come to about anything. And do I plan to raise her the Jamaican way? If by Jamaican way you mean catch these hot licks, then I don't know. I plan to raise her how I need to raise her. Like, every kid needs to be raised differently, I think, and she's not me, and I'm not my mom, and I'm not my grandmother, and I'm not her mother. So I'm going to raise my kid how I see fit. There's no way to determine how I'm going to parent her until she gets here and I see what her personality is and how we are together and how she is with her dad. Like, I'm not going to be able to determine those things based on air. Like, I have to really sit there and like learn about my child before I discipline my child. But I'm not ruling out anything. That I like the way I was raised. I can appreciate the way I was raised, and I totally get it's a different time, but at the end of the day, I'm black, and spare the rod, beat the child. So I'm not afraid of CPS. I'm not afraid of any of those things. So I'm pretty much gonna raise her how she needs to be raised. If she's a good kid, she's not gonna need to be disciplined. If she's a bad kid, she's gonna need to be disciplined. There has to be boundaries set, and there has to be rules in place, and the children need to follow the rules, and if they don't, then they will get their punishment, whatever the punishment may be. So we'll see. Would you shave your baby's hair at 2 weeks old so that it grows thicker? Apparently it's a new trend. Love your videos, by the way. That's actually not a new trend at all. That's very old, not even trend. It's just an old thing that people do with newborns, and it does work, but 2 weeks is really young to be putting a razor to a baby's head. So I don't know about that. I don't think so. I don't think that's necessary, because a lot of times too, baby's hair will fall out. Like, I was born with a full head of hair, but I was allergic to the feather pillows, and so my hair ended up falling out when I was a kid. How would you explain color to a blind person? This is really, oh my gosh, this is such a hard question. Okay, I think I would say to them, imagine what it felt like at the happiest moment in your life, how you felt inside. If you could translate that into vision, so if you could basically feel that or see your feelings, that's what color would be. That's all I got for you. What are the little things you value most in a friendship? I think the thing that I value most in a friendship, or the little thing that I value most in a friendship, is just honesty. Like, I like for my friends to keep it real with me, and I like to keep it real with my friends. And if they can't keep it real with me and I'm keeping it real with them, then I don't really want them around me. Would you collab with 4Y'all ENT? I actually love 4Y'all ENT, and I think they're so funny. I kind of miss the twins being on there, to be honest. I think they should change the name to 2Y'all ENT, but it is what it is, and I would definitely collab with them if I were ever in the city. I don't know if I answered the wedding question in the last question and answer, but I've been like passing it like 300 times. So I'm just gonna address it again. We set a date for September 18th, so next month, and because we're going to the city hall, it's not like we're not having a wedding. It's not a wedding. So yeah, so it can happen or it cannot happen. It's just a matter of getting the registration done first. Did your baby start kicking yet? And congratulations for the girl. Actually, last night I felt these five, like, it felt like this in my back. And so I figured it was the baby. I'm not 100% sure. It could be that or just a spasm. But there's no telling. And I haven't felt anything since. So it was probably just a spasm. But like I did feel the kicks in my back. And her legs are on this side. So it would kind of make sense because in the front, the placenta's there blocking the kicks. So I can't feel them in the front. But it might have been. It might not have been. If it wasn't, then no, I have not. Where are the most beautiful places to go in Canada? You have to go to Banff. It's so pretty, especially in like when it's snowy or like when the snow is just about to end. You should go. So in the last Q&A, Shooter said that if he has a girl first, then he doesn't want any more kids. So is that still true, and do you want more kids? I don't think that's still true. I think Shooter wants a boy as well, and I want a boy as well, and Shooter doesn't have a choice in the matter. Like, let's be real here. I want 4 kids, and Shooter wants 2, like, max. I'm willing to meet him at 3 if we don't have a 4th. We don't have a 4th, but I like even numbers, and so I want 4 kids, and I will get my 4 children if it's the last thing I do, okay? He doesn't really have a say. I don't know why he tries to lend this opinion. Like, he doesn't have a say. If I have to turkey base myself with the man's sperm, I will. So, let's not. Oh my gosh. How far apart do you want your kids to be in age? For the first 2, I think I would like them to be about a year apart. And then for the next 2, I think I would wait 2 years in between that time. But I really just kind of want to have them all back to back, like year. I don't freaking know. We'll see what happens. Best thing about living in Canada. I think one of the best things about living in Canada is the amount of different food options, because the country itself is so multicultural. But like living somewhere like Toronto for most of my life, all of the food there is just so good. Like, you just have so many options, and plus, and the people, like, there's so many different types of people there too. You get to meet people from all over the world, and you get to learn about different cultures, which makes us less ignorant than some other countries. I ain't gonna say no names, but it makes us a little bit less ignorant and more open to cultures. And you know, there's a few of us though, few of the Canadian people that need to get their lives when it comes to that. Like, I don't know if you guys seen that video with the white lady begging for a white doctor. Bitch, she needs to get gone. Like, no, we don't do that here. How did you know you were ready to have a kid? I love you so much. For me, being ready all really revolved around, I don't think anybody's really ready to have a kid, but for me it was a couple of things. First things first, I was turning 25 and I just knew it was time. Time is wasting. If I don't have one by now, like, you know, some women let time get away from them and they don't bother having a kid, or their circumstances just aren't right and they wait too long and then they don't get to have as many as they wanted. And I'm just like, I need to get the ball rolling here. So I was turning 25. That was a big thing for me. Also, when it came to being financially ready, that was also a really big thing for me. I never ever wanted to be a struggling mom and or a struggling family, period. And so it was really important that we were both financially stable before we decide to even take the dive, take the plunge, and try to make a baby. And so it's just timing. Like, it's just timing. Everything just felt right, and so we decided we would try to have a baby, and lo and behold, she on her way. What is your relationship with your mom really like? You guys seem close, but you also seem kind of distant from her too. We are close. So throughout my entire life, my mom and I have had a rocky relationship, and I always say it's because she's a Sag and I'm a Taurus, and Sag and Taurus is really turbulent when it comes to relationships. And so that's why, and my father is also a Sagittarius, and so they had the same birthday. I've always been a mama's girl, I guess, but I'm pretty independent too, and so we're both kind of queens, and so we do clash. But like as we've gotten older and we've kind of like knocked off the mom-daughter titles and just been friends, life's great. We only really had beef when we were living in the same house. Anytime we've lived apart, we've been okay. And so we're both adults, and so she's my mom, I'm her daughter, but I'm an adult, she's an adult, so we get along just fine. But like when I was younger and I was living under her roof and I was kind of just trying to do my own thing and she wasn't having it, that's when we really kind of had issues. Every family has their issues, you know what I mean? And so we don't really have any major issues that could never be solved. We just had times that we didn't get along, and right now we get along, so we get along. Not right now, for the last how many years, since I was like 22, we've been smooth sailing. So is Shooter excited for the baby? Seemed like he wanted a boy. How about you go and watch the old Q&A and see about if Shooter wanted a boy or not. Of course he wants a boy. We both want a boy. We just wanted our girl first and we got her. So favorite cartoon? I love Family Guy, I love Adventure Time, I love F is for Family, I love The Simpsons, but like I haven't watched The Simpsons in a long time, and American Dad. I love American Dad. Those are my favorite cartoons. Out of you and Shooter, who do you think the baby girl will resemble most? I definitely think she'll look like her dad. I don't know. There's no telling. There's really no telling, but I think she'll look like her dad. Then again, my family genes are super strong. You guys see Malik. Everybody thinks that Malik is my child when Malik is with me. So I don't really know. Like, I don't really know. Why don't you agree with nose jobs? This is the last question. I don't agree with nose jobs because I just personally feel like you shouldn't alter your face. I just feel like you should just learn to love the face that you have, and unless your nose is like looking like it's broken and should be reconstructed to be straight, I don't see why anybody would get a nose job. Specifically when I speak on nose jobs, I'm talking about Black women who get nose jobs because we are supposed to have a broader nose, we're supposed to have fuller lips, blah blah blah. I don't have a really big nose, and so I guess I can't really relate. And so maybe people don't want me to say my feelings about that, but at the end of the day, I just feel like we should embrace our faces and not try to change things about them. I don't agree with lip fillers either, which is funny because when I first started YouTube, I used to say all the time that I would go and inject my top lip because I felt like it wasn't big enough. But then, like, I don't know where it changed, but I just decided that it's whack. Like, I don't need to inject my top lip, and it's not small. Like, I don't know why I thought that my top lip was so tiny, but I just didn't like it, and it eventually grew on me. Once I learned to love it and embrace it, I'm like obsessed with my own face and my own features, and I love my face personally, and I just wish everybody would just love their face. And so when it comes to nose jobs, your nose can really change a face, but I've just never seen a nose job where it wasn't obvious and where it actually looked better. Nene didn't actually get her nose like done. She got it contoured, and so well, she got it done, but like she didn't have cartilage broken. They just like pinned the sides in, and so when I look at her older photos, I'm like, she looks so much better with a broader nose. And we're taught to hate ourselves already. We're taught to hate our skin tone. We're taught to hate the way we look, the way we speak, the way we act. We're taught to hate our hair. And so I just don't agree with it. Like, I don't know why I personally, like, I don't know. I just can't agree with it. I get it. Like, your nose, even if your nose is so big it bothers you, it's like it's not the end of the world. Like there's other things happening that I just feel like we should just love ourselves. So it is what it is. I'm not against like surgery for your body if you're open about it. Like I don't really care what people decide to do with themselves. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, she got a nose job, she's a fake ass bitch. Like I'm not gonna do that. I don't really care as long as you're real about it and like you're open about it and you just do you, then that's cool. But I don't like when people deny stuff, and I also just don't like when people alter their face. Like don't touch your face. Like it's too risky to touch your face. I don't agree with Botox. I don't agree with anything of the sort. So yeah, that's a really hard question to answer, why I don't necessarily don't agree with it, but it's more for Black women. I think we should learn to love ourselves a little bit more and a little bit harder than we do, because our whole entire life we've been taught to hate ourselves, and so now Black women are out here getting nose jobs and stuff, and it's just like, for what? Like, why are you getting a nose job, you know? So it is what it is. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for participating in this Q&A. I love you so much, and I will definitely see you in the next one.